Where's my trousers? Oh, I lost them. I haven't got any on. Oh, well, no wonder it's cold.
The Gaming Lovers Podcast with Brendo and Jem.
It's that time once again, another episode of the Gaming Lovers Podcast in your ears right now. Welcome, I'm Brendo,
I'm Jem.
and we are collectively known as the Gaming Lovers.
Welcome to episode number 17.
You always love to rattle off the numbers.
Well, sometimes you're not looking at the screen when you're listening, and if you're listening and not paying attention to the titles or episode numbers, you might not realise what you're up to unless you hear it.
It's all about the numbers.
It's just part of, I don't know, maybe some radio training coming in there, but I just feel like it's good etiquette to let people know what they're up to.
Good etiquette.
Yes,
Podcast etiquette.
exactly.
Well, good thing I'm wearing my finest dinner suit then.
We've had relatives over the last few weeks.
Yes, not just any relatives, my relatives.
Yes, on Brendo's side of the family. And we decided why not put them to the test and make them play some new games as well as revisit some old ones from our early childhood. And it has been an interesting experiment, that's for sure.
As much as our fans adore us, we did get some good positive feedback when we introduced some younger friends of ours to
Yes.
retro games.
Yeah.
And people like to see different people's opinions to the same games.
Exactly.
And so we thought we had a couple days with my sister staying with us. We thought we'd send her through the ranks of our gaming library and see what sort of gems pop out of that. Not you. not gem as in yourself, but
And it's funny though, when we play co-op games or party games with them, I think they bring out a different side of us. We get a little bit more cheeky than normal and maybe slightly more competitive. So you're going to see maybe a slightly different side to us in this episode of The Gaming Lovers. Just a little bit of advance warning.
I hope you still love me for who I really am, not just this facade you hear. Anyway, we'll get to that a bit later on.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're going to do our usual gaming goals update.
Gaming goals. I don't know. It feels
Ooh.
like it needs a jingle.
Just take that sound clip, that'll do. Every week.
Great.
How have you been doing? What have you been playing?
Well, I have not really touched Period Cube this week. I've done a little bit of Persona 5, but mostly this week I have been playing Persona Q! Because if anyone follows us on our social media pages, you already know that this is coming, okay? I am so excited because Persona Q2, like that's coming out soon, right? And they had like this announcement trailer and they revealed
Mm-hmm.
Minako, who
Well,
was like the female protagonist in Persona 3 in the portable version, who isn't considered canon.
all right, let's just do a little
is coming
explanation.
back.
Let's just do a little explanation. Persona 3 came out, you played as a male protagonist. You named them, they didn't have a canonical name, and you went through your adventure.
Minato Yuki.
That's not a... No. In the Persona 3 movie, that is not his name.
Well, it depends on
It's
which thing.
Makoto Yuki.
Ah.
So, when they re-released Persona 3 for the PlayStation Portable, they released Persona 3 Portable. And they also had an alternative campaign where you could play through the entire game as a female protagonist. And you had different interactions. Obviously, some romance options were different, obviously. And things turned out differently. Unfortunately, since it's an alternative campaign, she was never to be seen again.
But, then this is what really annoyed me, is that Theo, who is a character that appears in what's called the Velvet Room, which is a section of the game where you've got like these helpers that kind of guide you along the story. And Theo was a character that was only ever brought in for the female protagonist so that she would have a guy to bounce off of instead of lots of girls. And so he was not supposed to be considered canon, yet he got introduced to some of the other side games, like the previous Persona Q. He is a character in that. And so if he's canon in that, it made us go, well, where is the female protagonist? If he's still around, then she must be around somewhere. Why have they not acknowledged that? So for me, when that trailer hit and they showed her there with her hockey stick, I screamed, and I can't even speak.
It's kind of nice to hear you gushing about something, because normally I feel like I sort of just get on a roll about certain things.
I do gush occasionally.
There's always been the possibility she could show up in future games because of the fact there has been sort of time wobbliness
Yes.
and time and space aren't exactly
It is set,
solid at times.
even though it's somewhat real, like set in the real world to an extent.
Mhm.
It's also got lots of supernatural themes through the game, so you can kind of get away with anything if you really want to. When you've got that, you can make up something and say that the shadows caused a rip in time, or I don't know. You can find a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
They've had far more ridiculous things happen in those games, so it wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibility.
Now, to get us back on track, you're playing Persona Q because of all this.
Yes, because I want to get ready for when Persona Q2 comes out, and I mean it's going to take a while because it's got to be localized as well before it's going to be released here in Australia. But I had started it previously a long time ago and lost steam very early because the battle system was so different from the other games, and also like the dungeons and trying to map everything out. I think I didn't have the patience for it at first.
Yeah, Persona Q is like a spin-off entry in the Persona series. You had extensive experience with Persona 3, 4 and 5. Persona Q features the cast from Persona 3 and Persona 4.
Yes, it's
but
a bit
the
of a crossover.
gameplay is basically Etrian Odyssey with a Persona coat of paint on it.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different style of game featuring the cast of characters you love.
Yes.
Now that can be difficult to adjust to sometimes.
Yes. And thankfully, I mean, some people criticize it for maybe having too much fan service, but that for me is probably what brings me back to it.
Can there ever be such a thing as too much fan service?
I love that sort of stuff, whereas some people might be like, ugh, only people that have played this and this will really enjoy it. But
Not
honestly,
smutty fan service. Let us just clarify. We're just talking about warm, fuzzy feelings because characters interact that you haven't seen actually interact before.
And making kind of meta jokes, being self-aware, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
People that are big fans of the series will get all the little Easter eggs. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about when I mention that sort of fan service.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the stuff that I love. I love that kind of humor, and I also love seeing worlds collide, and it's all very fluffy. It's right up my alley. So that's what has kept me going. And I have gotten further than I did last time, and I'm still playing that, and that's why poor Period Cube has been ignored.
There's
this
only
week.
so many gaming hours in a week.
Yes. Life just catches up. I've had a lot of work this week, which is never a bad thing. I'm never going to complain to be paid to do my job. But sometimes there are just some weeks I'm like going, no, I want to play video games. Work, go away.
And like we said, we did also have some family eating up some of our social calendar this week, which also eats into our hobby time.
Well, we were gaming together though, so I guess we played, but it just wasn't the games that we wanted to play, if that makes sense. It was more of playing games, like co-op games and things like that. But we did get to play Overcooked 2.
Yes, we did.
So that's some of the gaming that we did this past week because it had just recently launched. And I first played it with your little sister Rhiannon and experienced the unbread, which you'll get to hear about more of a little later on. But then we played it and we live streamed it, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there will be some more discussion about Overcooked 2 later on because it is important to the narrative of this episode.
Yes.
Persona 5, you still playing that? Did you get any hours racked up this week?
Not really.
Okay, let's move on. Myself, I've been playing Yakuza 5. Finally, I've been a good boy and actually put myself to work at the game that I said I would actually beat instead of being distracted by all shiny Dark Souls things.
And you having fun?
I'm having a lot of fun.
Yes.
A little too much fun. Like I said, it's a problem when I'm trying to charge through a game series by a deadline, which is not something I usually do a lot of.
Yeah.
But I can't help but do every side quest that comes my way in that game because they are so fun. In the past session that I played, not only did the protagonist dress as a luchador and help a professional wrestler have his 7th retirement match, this time for real.
That sounds like John Farnham.
The thing is, I beat him in about 6 seconds just by wailing on him. And he said, "Oh, that was the greatest match of my life." And I'm like, "Really? You obviously haven't had a very good career." I also filled in as a substitute actor in a zombie movie and made sure I got all of my lines right.
I feel like he's done that before.
Yes, it was the same guy. The same actor that I filled in for in Yakuza 3.
Where you have to play like a Yakuza or something like that in a movie.
It was like a samurai in that
one.
one.
I think.
But then, by coincidence, this actor happened to find me in a different city and he got injured again and couldn't fulfill his movie duty roles. And he just so happened to find someone who looked similar. So that's fun because you can completely sabotage the movie by picking all the wrong dialogue options. But I had fun trying to memorize the actual script, which just sounds so nerdy and like homework. But these are just some of the little examples of things. In a serious crime drama, these quirky side missions are always hilarious. And I can't help but just focus on them instead of the main story. But you get super duper amounts of experience points and things as well for doing them, which also makes the fights easier because the Yakuza series has a habit of the normal fights on the street are fine, but soon enough your story's going to push you into fighting like 80 guys in a row, which culminates in a big boss fight with a guy who's got like 12 health bars. And if you haven't leveled up like that, you can struggle a bit. So it's still worth it.
Absolutely. And you're still having fun and you're still playing the game that is on your goal. It just means that you have to do all those side quests really, really fast.
Yeah, and at least the combat itself is fun, and except for when it makes me cringe a little when I jam a guy's face into the asphalt and start grinding it to take him out of the fight. But hey,
ouch,
it's all good. I have also been playing in my spare time Fire Emblem Awakening. Yes, I'm about 5 years late to the party, but hey, it's still a good time.
You're probably further along that than I was.
I'm about halfway through the game. I only looked up to see how many chapters there were. I'm roughly halfway through, and I'm further than you.
Yes. Another game that I started and put down, and whoops.
And that is all I have been playing. Future tense, we'll get to that later at the end of the episode, but what else did we happen to play with my sister?
There was a new game that had just kind of been released, an indie game, which looked very promising, called Muddle Dash.
Yeah. Only a few dollars. Sometimes a well-put-together trailer featuring gameplay is all you need.
Yep.
It is a very simple game. Basically, it has a randomized level. You play as squishy little octopus creatures.
Yes.
And you're trying to get to a birthday party, and there's only one present.
Yep, and you're not allowed in unless you have a present. So you're fighting over this present, punching each other, tripping each other up, trying to throw slime at each other, while you are simultaneously racing towards the party before the bouncer locks most of you out of the party. Simple concept, hilarious. The controls, I would say, are pretty intuitive, like kind of what you expect them to be, and so much fun, very competitive, very silly.
Perfect game to throw on at a party or a social gathering just for a couple rounds.
Yep.
It's a good time. There will be some yelling, some love, and some enjoyment.
I think you can have quite a few people play as well. We only have the 4 controllers for the Switch, but I think it has the potential to have more people play on online multiplayer.
Yeah.
So, my goodness, that would be absolute chaos. But if you had friends that could all link together, I'm not sure if you can deliberately choose who you pair with online. But if you did have that ability, that would be a lot of fun. If you could get like 8 people together playing that would be madness.
It definitely would be. Yeah. And I believe it's made by a developer company called Slampunks, which I believe is just 2 people. So
good on them.
Nice work to them.
I always like to support like up-and-coming indie developers.
Yeah, if you need a game to fill in a few minutes at your next gaming get-together,
yep,
throw a couple bucks at Muddle Dash for its name alone.
It's very cute. I love the art style too.
So, like we said, apart from all that, boy, that actually sounded like we have done a lot of gaming this week, even though we said we hadn't.
Maybe because we haven't done much in our personal goals, but we've done a lot of social gaming. That's why it doesn't feel like we've done much.
Very true. My younger sister lives out in the countryside, up with the pumpkins.
Out in the bush.
Oh,
All right,
yes.
This is Australia.
The
it's not called the
outback.
country. Yeah, she lives out in Whoop Whoop. That's what we call it.
Yes, we do. And she came and stayed with us for a few nights and stayed with my sister a few nights, stayed with my dad a few nights, just sort of, catching up with the family. So while she was over and my dad came over as well, we thought, hey, let's play some 4-player games,
Yes.
just for a bit of fun.
So we introduced them to the brand new Mario Tennis Aces, which is on the Switch.
Yeah, one of those games that's easy to pick up, easy to learn, and fun in shoes. Not in shoes, like wearing shoes, but fun in shoes.
It got pretty competitive.
He's had like half a can of Coke and he's already,
Why, Delilah?
What's in this Coke?
All right, knuckleheads, you get tiny little controllers today.
Oh, I didn't even know.
What's this for?
Well, I'm
Funny
Brendo.
fun.
This is my family. We're playing Mario Tennis Aces, and it'll be interesting. Let's just put it that way.
Why,
No one
Luigi?
else can be Yoshi.
She said nicely.
Bit competitive there, Jem, or what? Jeez.
Not at all.
Brendo and his father Alamo, the world's greatest tag team.
Oh, yes.
He's set. He said he's
Always
sugar.
was and always will be.
She's wearing quite a lot of jewellery for playing
Oh.
tennis.
Yeah, it's to blind the opposition when the sun hits it. Didn't you know?
Well, then shouldn't it
be on
the racket too?
What a racket.
No, it's too heavy.
Oh,
That should be illegal.
Sorry.
How dare you hit royalty in the
Exactly.
face? In the face.
Well, that'll affect their game.
Excuse me. Paid a lot of money for that plastic surgery. Oh, well, is this turned into a singles match, has it? Oh, there we go.
Well, you weren't going anywhere near where I was, so.
Having a dig at me, your own teammate. I see how it is. Right. Sam, come over to help you, and then we lose anyway. So what's the point?
Sweeping them.
Right, bring it.
I got you.
I love these body shots.
Right in the schnoz, Mario. Right in the schnoz.
Listen, I think he cheated somehow. Can we drug test him, please? Who's Dad? You Wario. Well,
I'm a Wario.
if the
What's
shoe
her
fits,
name?
buddy.
You hit the ball, okay? Okay.
Is that legal?
I am like a genie.
Telekinesis should not be legal in tennis.
No, I really shouldn't.
You don't need to Wario when Wario's on your team. Oh, you sneaky thing. Dad, why would you say yes? We lost.
Oh,
Here we go.
okay.
Who's ready for this one?
Yeah,
I'm just being happy.
Dad, get on your own side. Oh my goodness, it's like losing control of a little child on a sugar high. Dad! Oh, it's not time to practice your ballet moves.
What's our current scores? I've won 2.
I've lost
I'm
2.
one.
I've lost 2.
Oh, run kid.
Oh, look, it's fine. I'm used to being the loser. It's fine. I take it in my stride. How the heck are you supposed to play tennis with your mouth? Doesn't your jaw get sore?
He's all
And he could chop that in half.
Where's
Maybe
Yoshi?
special material, the same that's in Wolverine.
Here we go.
Yay.
She's got an answer for everything. Toad, you're up.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're playing with a literal dinosaur.
Don't call Dad that. I know he's old, but gosh, you had to get a bit personal there.
We'll do one more round.
Yeah, and if I get stuck with the same partner, no, I want a refund. Because my partner likes to dance in the middle of a match.
So I think that got them pretty well warmed up.
Warmed up, you think?
I think I have a tendency to get quite silly in these games as well, which you're going to see even more of. Yay.
Well, while we're talking family members in our gaming history, were your siblings big gamers?
As far as like the Nintendo 64, we would play that. I probably played it the most. My sister Natalie played a lot of solo games quite a bit. She's probably the only one out of my sisters who finished the story campaign on GoldenEye 007.
Mm-hmm. And she still plays games to this day.
Yes. Sometimes she'll play things that we haven't even bought yet. And we're like, when did you start playing this? And I'm like, now, can we borrow it? So, yeah, I would say Natalie and myself would probably be the gamers in the family. Where my other two sisters will play games more in a party setting. Obviously, Mel loves Overcooked, as that's been well established.
Yes.
But yeah, we all get very competitive when we play things like Mario Party. So
Very cool. Well, my father usually sticks in his wheelhouse of either a first-person shooters.
like Call of Duty, he loves that.
Always love getting a text from him, a proud text from my dear old dad saying, "I beat Quake 4," with bad, sentence structure and excessive.
I love getting texts from parents.
exclamation points, just things like that. And also, back in the day, I used to love. He introduced me to flight sims, classic flight sims. Chuck Yeager's something, and there was the Jane's series, which was like UNSFC or something, and ATF, and all these other acronyms. So he usually sticks there, but he is always willing to try anything we ask him to.
Yes, he's a good sport.
So he dove right into Mario Tennis without any hesitation. They also played a little game called Death Squared. If you want to test your friendship with someone and Overcooked is not on the menu, try Death Squared.
Yes,
It's
lots of puzzles.
It's a cooperative puzzle game that will make you want to strangle your co-op partner, because if they do the slightest misstep, it will blow you up.
Or knock you off the ledge or whatever.
Or push,
It's pretty funny.
Disasterific. There is a clip of my sister Rhiannon and my father attempting a quite simple level in Death Squared, and it does not go according to
You
plan.
can see the death count in the corner. Every time they die, it'll show the death count, and that's just from that level.
I believe it's in the 60s.
No higher.
That is on our Facebook page. Check us out on Facebook at The Gaming Lovers.
Then we had them try out Snipperclips, which tested their
another
patience.
cooperative game that can make you clash heads. I'll admit it was a fun social experiment, because those sort of things are always fun for me to watch. People get frustrated and boil over.
Absolutely, and we introduced them to the new Pokemon Tekken game, which is called
Pokken Tournament, whatever it's
Pokken.
called. Yeah.
And then
Pokken.
Then we went and took a trip down memory lane.
I'm going to get a block of chocolate on the way home and eat it all on my own. That's how stressed I am. Oh, no, I do remember this one. This is just as silly as the other one. All right, come on. Let's use the brain that I've got left. Now, listen, you need to just pay attention and stop bouncing around. You need to fit the thing. We need to cut you.
I love
I've always wanted...
out of context in this game.
We need to cut you.
I feel like cutting you. I'm not a fan, okay? I'll have you know that I'm not a fan of the logical games, okay? Give me a quiz game, yep, sure, but nothing too, hard.
Quiz game's still...
Yeah, but it's fun-ish. Not logical. I can do logical, but I can't do logical. You don't take direction very well, do you? At least it's keeping his brain alive, I guess.
That's so harsh.
Uh-oh.
No, I meant
Charizard versus Pikachu.
Whoa!
what the heck is wrong with you?
Pikachu! Ninja warrior! Ah! Chop chop!
I found something I'm good at. Fighting. Not farting, fighting.
Congratulations.
I wanted something.
Thank you for playing.
Oh, that
Thank
was
you
quick.
very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for using my brain cells. Now I won't be able to think for the rest of the day.
I like Call of Pripyat. You should get to kill mutants and zombies.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah, it's the third in the series of Stalker. Shadow of Chernobyl.
There you go.
Follows Clear Sky.
Ray, what's the earliest game you can remember playing?
Ooh. That's a very, very good Tamagotchi.
Tennis, out the front of Rubinstein's on the machine.
Arcade machine.
Bing, bing,
Pong?
bing. No, tennis. That
Very
was
similar.
tennis. Yeah. No, it's
actually don't
called
know.
tennis. Yeah.
Ping pong is just table tennis, so but
Yeah.
slightly different rules.
I remember playing, probably one of the first games I played was Commandos.
Oh.
Remember Commandos?
Yes, there was a PC strategy game called Commandos where you controlled a small squad of specialists and the isometric view, and there was Nazi soldiers, World War II. What I used to do was enable the cheats to teleport and be invincible. I would either eliminate or tie up and kidnap, like knock out and kidnap all of the enemy soldiers, stick them all in one corner of the map, and Rhiannon would just love to play and drive the Jeep and around the map, and no enemies. Yay!
And my other one, Putt-Putt.
Oh my goodness.
My biggest... Wasn't I a big fan?
Putt-Putt?
I had Putt-Putt goes to the moon. Putt-Putt joins the race or whatever it was called. Putt-Putt goes to school. Just anything Putt-Putt.
Putt-Putt goes to school?
Yes.
What about Freddy Fish?
Oh, Freddy Fish!
Yeah.
What's the other one? What's the other one? The one with the fox. Wasn't there one with the fox? Am I dreaming this?
Fishes, foxes.
I think there was one with the fox.
I can't remember.
Anyway,
Star
Putt-Putt used to be...
Fox.
Anyone that doesn't know out there,
Star
Putt-Putt
Fox,
was
yeah.
a purple coloured car. He used to go on all sorts of adventures, and he used to have to do little...
He was a car. I'm thinking it's a golf game. No, it's like his
Got excited
golf.
over nothing,
And
Dick.
that's why I'm like, Putt-Putt goes to school. What on earth?
Yeah.
Like, is there
Driving.
like...
Okay,
little
sorry, to
Putt-Putt courses
be
out in the street?
precise, it was a car. Purple car, Google it.
Alright.
It was
Putt-Putt.
a point and click
Putt-Putt
adventure
game or something, yeah. It was awesome.
One of my earliest game memories with you was a Tom and Jerry game on the Sega Master System.
Oh,
And it
I don't
was
remember
only a
that.
one player. You played as Tom and you tried to catch Jerry. And I used to say that you were playing as Jerry, and you really weren't. It was just the computer.
See, I've had no logic all
So
my
is
life.
this it?
Yes, that is it. I used to
that's it.
love it.
That's
Oh my goodness, that brings back memories. Do you remember how many hours I used to play? I used to argue with you to get more
Freddy
computer
Fish
time.
was in the
That
same.
art style looks very early 2000s.
Yeah. Freddy Fish was
Well,
the same.
let me tell you, I was only born in 1991, alright?
Mm-hmm.
That's it, good boy. That's it, good boy. Move your head. That's it, good boy. That's it, good boy.
You like
That's it, good boy.
In a fighting game where they've only got one like clip when you make a move. Show me your moves. Show me your moves. Show me your moves. And it gets so irritating. That's it, good boy.
So you're calling me irritating? You've been throwing a few insults my way today, sister. Lucky we're only related by marriage, I'll divorce you. Listen, this noise is really annoying, isn't it?
It's super annoying.
It's like a really bad Star Wars noise or something. Oh my goodness, it's Putt-Putt! Oh my goodness! This takes me back!
Okay, Pep, okay.
Oh, Pep! Oh, this takes me back. Don't bag this. This is epic back in my day. Back in my day.
Child, yeah, magic.
Oh my goodness! Do you remember this, Dad?
Yep.
You had to do stuff. You had to get it all ready, and
Yeah, it
get...
was on MS-DOS.
you had to do like little challenges along the way too to collect stuff.
I wonder if I actually purchased and
This
downloaded
isn't
that. If you could beat it next time, we'll play it together.
Okay,
We'll do a let's play of Putt-Putt.
let's
joint
do it
play.
next time.
We're
Epic.
gonna play Putt-Putt. Which one do you want, Moon or Race?
Yeah, Moon. I like Moon.
We'll put our heads together and see if we can actually beat a kid's game.
Hello.
Jacket on, my
I
shoes
hope
on.
you've enjoyed
Oh.
the show.
Is there anything sweeter than delicious nostalgia?
It's funny how, like, you listen to those sounds now and they find so many people find them grating, a lot of the sound effects and things from very early, arcade video games. So many people get really irritated by them. And Rhiannon had very similar reactions to, like, Outlaw, the same as those girls did, the teenagers that we had testing those retro games back a few episodes.
Yep.
I find it kind of funny, like, that will irritate her, but then if it's linked with something that she finds nostalgic, it won't irritate her.
Isn't that such a strange thing?
Mm-hmm.
We were starting to look up certain clips on YouTube. Thankfully, the wonderful world of YouTube. If you think of a game and you go, man, I haven't thought of that game in 15, 20 years.
Yep.
Let's see if I can find it. Oh, look at that. There's a playthrough of it on YouTube.
Yep.
Wonderful. So I was bringing up a few things from our childhood, from the old PC days, the old Sega days that we used to play games together. And then I had the wonderful idea of, why don't I actually get my sister to actually play one of these retro games?
Yeah. So we had previously talked about getting her to come back and actually play one of her old favourites. And in that time, between visits, Brendo downloaded on Steam Putt Putt Goes to the Moon and had it ready to go as soon as she came in. We're like, oh, come to the lounge room and see what's on the TV. This is what happened.
I'm very excited. Junior Adventures!
Hi, I'm Putt Putt. I'm so excited.
Me too.
The sun looks like the sun from Teletubbies.
I expect a speed run. This game has to be beaten in 35 minutes.
Gosh.
I better not touch
Ah, you goody two shoes.
I better not touch that.
Listen, rules are made to be broken every now and then. Just touch it!
Are we figuring out what we're doing here?
Well, I'm stuck already. I can't remember what I have to do in this bit. And Putt-Putt's a goody two shoes, and someone says do not touch. I don't want to touch it. See what it does. And he goes, better not touch that. Why? What's going to be the worst thing he could do? Drain your oil?
So you're stuck in a kid's game 3 minutes in.
Listen. Off to the moon.
That car has amazing grip.
Absolutely.
What kind of tyres are those?
Top of the range.
Wow. Pep, we're
And Pep all of a sudden just had a space helmet in the boot.
Thankfully, we packed one ahead of time.
I went from Kansas. Are they related to Dorothy?
Possibly.
How do I get out of this game? I'm bored now.
You've got to finish it to get the moon crystals.
Ah.
As a 26-year-old, is this still as enjoyable as it was?
No.
As a
It's very frustrating. As a
5-year-old?
kid, I loved it, but this one's very frustrating. Nothing worse than falling in moon goo. I don't recommend it.
No.
The average play time for this game on howlongtobeat.com was 38 minutes.
Well, too bad.
Enjoying the game?
Yes, it's very... Oh, no! Hang on, you distracted me!
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's very frustrating. I don't know how I played it as a kid, really, because I have no patience as it is.
I don't think you were trying to rush through it when you were playing as a kid, though.
True. Brendan, need a new mouse. I blame it on the mouse.
I just bought it yesterday.
Well, it's silly.
Just need a cone, steering
Steering wheel.
and we're out of here.
Thank goodness for that.
What? You're the one who wanted to play this.
It's the Wizard of Oz gone wrong.
Is it a moon or a banana?
I think
The
it's
moon
the,
on the moon.
Oh.
I don't know if it's the mouse or the games.
or the user.
Oh, rough landing.
Very. I think my rod just snapped on that landing.
But he magically landed in the right country and right near all his friends and family.
I have quite a day.
That was a whole day. It takes longer than a day just to travel to the moon, let alone back from the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations, you finished it!
Yay! I conquered a game. Felt like 5 hours.
Did you enjoy it though?
I did. It was very good. Thank you very much.
Make you feel like a little kid again?
I did. It did. I just don't know how I played it so much. Although I had all of them. I had Putt Putt goes to the zoo. Putt Putt, or saves the zoo, something like that. Putt Putt joins the parade. All the Putt Putts you can get, I had them. So I just played and played and played.
It went very quickly from I love this game to I hate this game.
It's kind of funny when someone gets frustrated at a game that's designed for
Children.
under 10s, let's put it that way.
It's a point and click game. It shouldn't be that hard.
Well, point and click titles, to be fair, are quite notorious for being difficult because some of the puzzles can be very obscure or obtuse.
Yes.
And it's just very difficult to understand, all right, what am I supposed to do with this paper bag and this rubber chicken?
Yeah.
I can't understand how to get this door open. I only have these 2 items.
They don't always spell it out quite clearly for you.
But you would think a kid's point-and-click adventure game wouldn't
be
have as many roadblocks.
No.
We all have our struggles occasionally.
We'll be back very shortly with more of the Gaming Lovers podcast, where Rhiannon joins me in the booth to talk about gaming and share some embarrassing stories about Brendo.
Excuse me, I haven't heard anything about this.
You don't need to talk about this. It's okay.
You're listening to the Gaming Lovers podcast. Want to join the conversation? Visit thegaminglovers.com. Record your comment or question by clicking on the button on the right-hand side, and you could be featured in the next podcast.
Joining me in the booth today is Brendo's little sister, Rhiannon. Thanks for joining me.
No worries. Happy to be here.
We've had you play a couple of different games recently.
Yes.
Brought you back through your childhood. Have you had
did.
some fun?
I've had a wonderful time. It's made me feel very old as well, though.
Makes you
I'm only
feel old. Makes
27
me
this
feel
year,
old.
but going back in time has made me feel like, oh dear, I'm getting a little bit old here.
Yeah, I know the feeling. It's sad sometimes when you look back and you see the dates that some of your favourite games came out.
You don't
You're
realise
like,
that much time's passed.
It was, 20 years old? What? Oh,
Let's happy thoughts.
Yes, let's not think about that.
Let's age gracefully, thank you.
So I wanted to look back on some of your favourite games. We'll start with the obvious since you played that the most recently. Putt-Putt.
Good old putt-putt. And no, it's not the golfing one, as someone previous thought it was, and they got
that's
excited
sometimes
with
what
me.
mini golf is called is putt-putt. So
Putt-putt is a little purple car
And
that goes on
putters
little
along.
missions. Yes, good job, putts along. I like your little pun there.
So how old were you when you first played that?
Look, it was many years ago. Probably 7?
Yep, that sounds about right.
Ish.
Yep.
7-ish. See, I'm memory problems. I'm getting old, you see.
When you were replaying it, how much of it did you actually remember from your childhood, and how much of it were you
Look,
like,
I needed-
I do remember this?
I needed a fair bit of guidance from my brother today to start me off, because I hadn't played it or come across it for years and years and years. Once I got into the swing of things, once the mouse actually worked, it
Yes.
kicked back in.
Yeah. And it's cute. Sometimes you look at old games and you hear like the voice acting and stuff, and it's kind of a little dodgy. But the voice of Putt-Putt's actually very cute.
Yes, he was manageable.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
Bearable and
I was
manageable.
pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
So
Didn't
that
have
was
that
fun.
screechy voice either.
Oh, screechy voices or just bad acting or like poor delivery on dialogue really.
Or silly
It's kind
jokes.
of a pet peeve for me.
When
I can
they
handle
chuck it-
silly jokes if they're delivered okay.
Yes, that's true.
So,
Not in a dad style. We all know dad jokes are terrible.
but again, if they know that they're terrible and they deliver it in a way that like, hey, we know this is terrible, but haha, we know, can be okay.
Well, depends on your humour
Yeah, I suppose
and
that's true.
what you can tolerate.
I tend to be a little more cheesy than other people, so that's
Join the club.
we'll make t-shirts.
Why not?
In a similar vein, along with those putt-putt games, there was also Freddy the Fish.
Good old Freddy the Fish. Okay, this is a story. I wanted a goldfish and named him Freddy,
What a story.
but I didn't get the goldfish,
Oh,
clearly. Just putting it out there, I was very, very deprived of my childhood.
Well, you can get one now. You're an
Yeah,
adult.
but
You
no,
can
but
get
I've
a
got a
get a
cat.
goldfish.
Bella
Well,
might decide to
you can
eat
get-
Freddy.
You can get tanks with glass lids.
True.
So I
You
just
never know. Just
put
putting it out
high
there.
up.
If anyone wants to buy me a fish and name it Freddy, go ahead.
There you go. There's a Christmas idea.
You never know.
But I remember I played Freddy the Fish, not the full game because my parents wouldn't pay for it. But we had a free demo that came with another game that we
Did it come with
had.
cereal? No.
Possibly. I'm
I
not
think
sure.
I'm having
It's
a
been
flashback
while.
here. I'm having a flashback. Sorry, going off track again.
That's fine.
Kellogg's. Just putting a little, ad out there. If you want to pay me, that's fine. But Kellogg's at one stage had free demo discs. Do you not remember them?
No.
It had little snippets of Freddy Fish, Putt-Putt, those sort of games for kids.
Ah.
There you go. That just sparked my memory.
Well, that was probably what it was.
Goodness me. Anyway, you didn't pay the full game because
No,
your parents
it
couldn't
was just
afford
one half of a level, so you couldn't get very far at all. But I would play that over and over again because we didn't have much. And especially there were certain games we did have which I was not considered old enough to be allowed to play at the time. I don't understand why not, because it's not like they had any content that was inappropriate. They just thought that it would be too hard for me, probably. Now that
good
I
to
look
see
back
you
on
had
it.
supportive parents that could, come on, you can
I
do
think
it. No,
they
you're
probably
not doing
just
that. It's
didn't
too
want
hard.
me to delete their old saves or have to explain how to do it. They're just like, just play this one because it's easy to figure out. I don't know.
That's
We'll have to
interesting.
ask them why,
Yes,
but they probably won't remember now.
no, because they're at that age.
We have a lot of similar games from our childhood that we both love, like The Sims.
The Sims. I blame my brother for my addiction of Sims.
Yeah?
I still play Sims to this day. Yes, embarrassing, I know. But I have days where I chill before work and I play Sims.
It's
It's just
a
my
simple-
outlet. It's just my...
Yeah, and that's what games
you
are.
know,
They're
I've played
supposed to be
it for years.
relaxing for the most
I'll
part.
probably be a 90-year-old nana in a nursing home and I'll still be playing Sims. And then I'll be asking people how to play it because I can't remember.
You'll be playing like the 99th expansion pack. Oh wait, they've probably already hit that number. You'll be playing the millionth expansion pack that's come out.
Absolutely.
Yep, and it'll be in
I'll be teaching the staff how to play it.
holographic form,
Goodness.
augmented reality around you.
Oh, goodness me. We can only dream.
Did you do what Brendo does with The Sims and just try to kill off or do torturous things to your Sims while you played? Or did you actually try to give them good careers and build all your friends and family?
I'm more of a building career type of person,
Yep.
but there has been an incident lately where my Sim met this girl and had a crush and I didn't like her, so I ended up getting her to move in and killed her off. Like, I do not provide violence in reality, obviously. I'm not
Not
a promoter
condoning
of
it.
I'm not condoning. If there's any children listening, violence is a bad thing. But no, I like to build my careers up. You know, like I just had a Sim that recently went to the top of the level of the newsreader. What is it?
Nice.
Like, and now she's a celebrity. And it's very annoying, though, because she'll be walking down the street and people will be following her.
Yes, we're so familiar with that. Like, that happens all the time.
There's people banging on the door now for autographs. Hang on, we'll be there in a minute. But I like to do, I like to get them places, not just kill them off.
Yes.
Yes.
I must confess, because I used to play SimCity before The Sims, and I loved
Sim
destroying
City, that's
my
a blast
city.
from the past.
Yes, isn't it?
Goodness,
I
going
loved bringing in Godzilla after,
Oh.
being bankrupt because I couldn't budget appropriately as a kid, and so I'd be like, okay, send in a tornado, send in an earthquake, send in Godzilla.
I'm not messing with you in any games or in life in general.
Good, it's a
You
good
have
lesson to learn.
You have techniques.
I don't have the actual power to summon Godzilla in real life, unfortunately.
That's what
That
she
would be-
tells us.
I so wish.
I'm behaving.
Trust me, if I did have that power, you would have known by now. But that's where, obviously, because The Sims is like a branched off from SimCity. So I loved that first, and I was very destructive in SimCity. But The Sims, I found I just had so much fun creating people. I barely actually
Yes.
played as them in their houses.
I still give them weird names just because I can.
Whereas I had to just make all my friends and family and occasionally some celebrities.
Absolutely.
Because, then you can marry
That's the
like,
reality, though. You're
all
going
the
to have...
celebrities.
Oh, absolutely. The money factor.
Or just that, that living out a fantasy of, marrying Jonathan Taylor Thomas, which was the crush, wasn't anything of like...
I don't even know who's Janet. What's
How
his
do
name?
you not know who
What's his
Jonathan
name?
Taylor Thomas is?
That's a very long name to remember.
He was the voice of
Jonathan
Simba in The Lion King.
Oh, well, if you say it like that, I know.
And, Home Improvement.
Oh, him.
Yes.
Right, okay, jeez.
Come
you
on.
should see the look I'm getting. Please don't bring the Godzilla out on me. I'm scared right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm scared. No tornadoes either.
Another game that we both love, still to this day, Mario Party.
I love it. I love the competitiveness of it.
Yes, it can get
And look,
quite violent.
violent as in people flipping tables. I won't name names. Me?
Yes.
Look.
Want to share?
When I was younger, I have matured now, you see. But when I was younger, I didn't take too well if I lost.
Yes.
We had a little table, we would put our snacks and stuff on. Thank goodness we ate all the snacks before I flipped the table.
It would have been bad if it was
Otherwise,
covered
I
in
had
just
popcorn
soft drinks.
flying everywhere, Jaffas flying everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, that's taken me back, isn't it?
They hurt.
I do. I threw one at my brother's head once because he bet me in a game. See?
I remember I
coming
was
across very
in the
aggressive.
cinemas once, and we discovered popcorn did not throw very well, and
So
I
you
had
threw a Jaffa.
Jaffas. I had Jaffas, and I tell you what, they make for great missiles, but they will get you kicked out of the cinemas too.
Why don't you just take your Godzilla there?
Yeah,
be
just
much
see, I don't
easier.
have Godzilla.
I'm
We've established.
I'm starting to think you have tricks up your sleeve, girlfriend.
No, just
But
Jaffas.
no, I used to, I've calmed a little bit in the,
Good to hear.
not winning. Not everyone's a winner.
We will test this out, I think, with a game of Overcooked and see if you really have calmed down. I want to know.
I need to have chocolate before then.
I think we've got ample supplies of that. Sadly, no Jaffas.
Oh, good. They can't be thrown at my head.
Yeah, probably for your health and safety.
But yes, Mario Party used to be the fun in our household.
Yeah.
Weekly, we'd have parties, as it says, Mario Party.
Exactly.
It was where we all got together on a weekday, weekend, and that would be spend proper family time together. It was awesome.
That's good. I think that was a
Although
common occurrence in our house
I think
too.
the pets knew when we were having the Mario Party because they would run and hide. Because it used to get quite intense at some point of the night.
Yes. With those kind of games, especially if you have competitive people in your family, which you don't have that
I
at
don't know
all.
anyone
Like
that.
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
No.
Certainly
She's
not
calmed,
someone.
apparently.
Not someone who's on this podcast on a regular basis.
No names.
That's not my husband. Surely not.
Doesn't run in the family either.
But those games and some board games and stuff as well. I think we mentioned in the other podcast about board games that Monopoly tends to bring out quite
Let's
vicious
not go there.
sides of people.
Yeah, let's not go there.
a
My
bit of
sister
a
Beck
sensitive one.
will back me up on the night that I said, okay, this is a quote from me. This is very embarrassing. I'm not competitive. I just like to win. And she's never let me live that down.
I love it.
She's never let me live that down, and that is still brought up. I'm not competitive. I just like to win. And it's like, yeah, well, it's true.
I love it. That's the best rate. I can picture you saying it too.
Oh, yeah, I say some real stupid things sometimes.
Normally, when you stay with us, Brendo likes to make you play scary games.
Oh, my lovely brother. You know what? That stems back to my childhood as well.
Mm.
He used to make me watch scary movies, and then I'd be scared to walk from his bedroom to my bedroom, which is a 2-second step. I wouldn't go out into the hallway without him putting a light on first and going out before me. So I'd send him out there. So if there was someone scary out there, he would get, attacked before me.
That
Very
sounds about right.
generous.
Yes, he likes his horror genres and things like that. I'm not a big fan of them either. He's made you play a couple of things that have scarred you, like Heavy Rain.
Let's not go there. That is emotional, that game.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
It gets to your heartstrings, and then you feel very guilty.
Yes. I couldn't stop imagining ninjas coming and attacking me and slitting my throat after playing early chapters in that game. And I would literally, when I was in the house, I would have to turn on every light because I just could not stand there being darkness and potentially someone hiding there. It freaked me out that much back in the day. I'm not good with scary games or movies. And Brenda's like, it's not scary though. I'm like, yes,
He
it
loves
is.
the scary movies. He's always loved it.
It's like someone
He's loved
though.
scaring his siblings growing up as well.
Exactly.
He'd be the one hiding in the pantry or the cupboard, and they'd go, can you go get this? And I'd be the silly one yet again going to get the product, and my brother would be there scaring me.
You know, like when people who really love spicy food say, oh, it's not that spicy, it's really
That's our
mild.
dad. That's dad.
It's like, and you try it and you're like, no, that's really spicy.
Exactly.
Because they're used to it.
Exactly.
Brendo's like that with scary games.
Yep.
He's like,
he's
it's
used
not
to
that
it.
scary. And it's like,
I
yes,
have
it is.
to become accustomed to it because I have no choice. He wants to get a reaction out of me.
Yeah, he just like seeing you sweat or cry or freak out.
I cried with Heavy Rain. It's silly, I know it's a game,
No, but
but
beautiful
it gets
stories.
to your
You
heartstrings
can cry in
anyway.
movies, you can cry with commercials.
Oh, yeah. Let's not get too serious.
Until Dawn was the other one he made more
Okay,
recently.
look, that freaked me out.
Well, it's supposed to.
It's just, no, that's not on. I'm sending him the psychological bill. I thought, oh, it can't be this scary. Wow.
If
The
ever there
first
was a game
scene-
to live stream you reacting to, that would have been it.
Oh, you wouldn't want to.
I
Be
don't
a
know.
horrible
We
sight.
would have 1 million views very quickly.
Yes.
You're like,
It
oh,
was just
suddenly it's worth
The
being...
fact that it was a dark
scared.
game, as in, like, you'd walk into a corridor and it'd be black.
Yeah.
That set my heart racing. But the fact the controller was vibrating and like you'd open the door and you're like, oh, I don't want to go in there, but I have to go in there. You know, you feel like you're actually in the game and it's ridiculous. I'm
Yes.
getting scared just thinking about it. Happy thoughts, people. Happy thoughts. There's lovely fluffy puppies in there, not a clown.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of jump scares, but I also don't like excessive gore, which has put me off a couple of different games. But that one, I was like, oh, look into it and see, because I
See,
might be able to
The
handle
gore
it.
doesn't bother me because I'm a nurse, but the scare factor
No,
does.
not seeing a hook going through someone's, like, the bottom of their chin doesn't gross you out?
Listen, okay, people are going to judge me on this, but I love it. The gorier, the better. I love it. I'm sorry for the person that's going through that, but I'm loving it. I'm a nurse.
I suppose. I
The-
mean, you look
the
at people's
bloodier, the
veins and
better.
you're like,
The-
yes,
oh.
let me stick you with a needle.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't actually walk around with needles and go here.
That
Have a
sounds,
free bleed.
that sounds like a character in a game like Dead Rising, I think, where they've got, like, people just kind of go crazy from it being a zombie apocalypse.
Another one. I just had a thought again. I know. I'm cutting you off. It's
It's all
fine.
good.
Resident Evil was a big thing in our house.
Yes.
That used
And
to freak
Silent
me out
Hill.
because the zombies just jump out of nowhere and I used to scream.
Mhm.
And then I wouldn't walk around the hallway at home without lights being all on.
You know how there's virtual reality video games with the goggles?
Never
There-
doing
there-
that ever.
There is a Resident Evil game of that.
Don't. Does
So-
my brother know about that one?
He does.
He's not to tell me. He'll
We don't
trick me
have virtual reality yet because we're waiting for it to be a much more reasonable price before we invest that much. But
Hopefully it never
if-
drops down in
if it
price. I
does-
don't want you to get it.
he's probably going to try to make you play it.
I'll just say that I have eyesight issues and I can't do it. I'll just go down a nursing path. I'll just chuck some disease at him and he won't know. And he go, okay, no worries. You don't have to do it. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, virtual reality. Because that's like you're in the actual game, yeah?
Mhm.
Like
yes,
you're
it can make you
feeling
quite
it.
motion sick too if it's
Oh.
not designed correctly or if the goggles aren't sitting quite right. It is better. The technology has improved definitely over the last few years, and if you're able to, like, move physically through a certain space that's safe, then I find you can last longer in the game.
I wouldn't last
But
long.
if you're standing still or you're sitting, then it messes with your head. Something shocking.
Great. That sounds very appealing.
Yes.
Let's get on to that, shall we?
Oh, well, just you wait. This is the kind of thing Brendo would buy purely to get a rise out of you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's him all the time.
That's the
He
bond
loves it.
of brothers and sisters, though, isn't it?
Oh, bring out the violins.
What kind of games would you like to play or be introduced to?
Happy ones.
Happy ones.
Ones that don't scare me.
Okay, cool. Well, Overcooked. We can play a bit of Overcooked and see if you can handle the frustration without flipping
Oh.
some tables.
I was going to say, make sure the tables are far away.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how big
Oh.
of a Sonic nerd would you say Brendo was as a kid?
50?
But does it compare? Because
1 to 10. On a serious note, 1 to 10 to be a 10.
Yep.
Sonic was everything. We'd play Sonic all the time.
Mhm.
Come and play Sonic. No, I'm right, thanks. I played it for 5 hours with you yesterday. Like, Sonic. We had a bird named Sonic. We did a budgie named Sonic. He was blue.
Of course.
He would whistle the Sonic tune.
Oh, did Brendo teach him that?
Only because he was sitting in Brendan's room and
Oh,
all those hours.
playing the games.
Because we used to have, like,
That's
change of scenery for the bird. So I used to hang out in our rooms, and he used to whistle the tune, and that was very annoying because Brendan would not be home, and this bird's going, and you think, did Brendan leave that game on, or because it would sound like the game?
It's very convincing. Yeah, some birds are very talented at mimicking things like that.
Sonic was a big thing.
That's awesome.
Sonic was everything. He had Sonic Junior covers, Sonic pillows, Sonic. You know, you'd walk in and you'd think you're in Sonic Land, like, you know, Sonic anything. But it made for good gifts because you knew that if you got
know exactly
anything
what
Sonic,
to get him. Yep.
Bang, here, have a
Easy
Sonic.
to shop for. He's always been easy to shop for.
Absolutely. Anything game related.
Yes.
Done.
Yep. Pokemon. Done.
Dragon Ball Z was another big one.
Really?
Well, now we're going off the game topic, but to watch.
I know he liked a little bit, but I guess because he loves so much anime, we barely touch on Dragon Ball Z
I hope
these
my
days.
mother doesn't listen to this, but
She
we
probably
were,
does.
hello, Mum. We were late for school one morning because my mum used to go, my mum's a nurse, for those that don't know. She used to go off to work, and my brother was in charge of getting me to primary school and then to him to high school because they were directly across the road from each other. Well, we were late because he wanted to watch the rest of this Dragon Ball Z episode. So I had to tell the teacher that I was late because my brother wanted to watch. Well, I got detention for it because I was late, and they didn't believe me.
Because of your brother.
All because of Dragon Ball Z.
That's why we weren't allowed to watch cartoons in the mornings, only in the afternoons.
Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. I used to sing that a lot. I'm
used to
such a
collect
nerd. Listen to me.
Have you heard our podcast? I'm
no.
pretty sure we outstrip you there.
What podcast? Is this a podcast? Oh, is this why I'm in this strange booth with all this foam?
Yes, it's so squishy. Why are the walls so squishy?
Oh, why are they so different shapes?
Why am I in a straight jacket? No, I'm just kidding.
Wouldn't surprise
That's just me.
Hang on, I'll just dial the funny farm.
That's how I like to describe my job, as being in a small room with padded walls while I talk to myself. And the looks that you get.
It's
so
actually
funny.
true, though. It
It
is
is.
padded, and you do talk to yourself if you're here on your own.
Exactly. I'm not lying.
Just saying. Unique.
Mm-hmm.
Unusual. Different.
Nice.
Noise.
Unusual. I tell you what. Please take this in the best way possible, but
Oh my
sometimes talking
goodness.
to you does remind me of Kathy.
I do good. Oh, no. I know.
Oh, no.
True to purr. Hello. Eat your heart out. Yeah. Do you know what? I actually get that a lot. And no, I have never been on the show. I've never, hey.
Something to look up if you want to understand Australian culture more for those who are listening in the States or anywhere else in the world. Kath and Kim pretty much sums up what it's like living in suburbia in Australia, if you can understand what they're saying.
But we're not all like that. We don't all dress like that, by the way.
Not all of us.
Why are you looking at that?
but just Rhiannon. No,
Oh,
kidding.
excuse me.
What, you're wearing your parrot earrings
I am.
and your
My
gummy
blazer.
babies. Yes.
My weird active wear, and I'm strutting down the
With the
strutting
bum
down the
bag.
street. And Cal
You got to have your bum bag.
and I are walking down with that bum bag. It's nice. It's different. It's unusual.
We've gotten so sidetracked.
I'm sorry. Let's come
this
back.
podcast used to be about video games, right?
I know. We went from here, there to everywhere. Anyway, gaming. Let's talk gaming.
If you could get paid to play one video game for the rest of your life, what would it be?
The Sims.
You didn't even have to think about that one.
Yeah.
So you'd be happy to just keep playing that and be paid to play that?
Yep.
Have you heard of esports, though?
Yes.
So you do know what that is?
Sort of.
Sort of. What do you understand it to be?
Isn't it part of EA games?
Well,
Or is it?
EA is like a giant, kind of a developer studio. They own a lot of studios, I should say. But esports is like electronic sports, so
You
people
verse
playing.
each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So have you like Fortnite or?
Oh, listen,
Call of
don't go
Duty.
there with Fortnite. That's all I hear from the teenagers at home. I have a lot of neighbours that have teenage kids, and I have a lot of friends with teenage kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing Fortnite, bro. And it's like, Fortnite? What is this Fortnite?
It's a
I had
battle
to
royale
yeah,
game.
I had to Google.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I felt old. When I had to Google a game.
You're
That's
like,
who's
what
when
is
I'm
this?
like,
What are the young whippersnappers talking about
what are these
today?
people doing? What is Fortnite?
Fortnite it's kind of like
So
a,
it's
a fighting
yeah.
game. Well, not a fighting game. It's a battle royale game, but it's not as violent as other games are that are like in that same genre. So it's more kid friendly, which is why so many teenagers play it. But you can also play against people all over the world. You can play it on your mobile phone and
Yeah.
console, so it's got a lot of cross-platforming except for those who are stuck playing it on PlayStation 4. And people, if they do really well in games like that, if they can get to a really good competitive spot, they can make a lot of money playing
Maybe I
that
should
game.
keep friends with these teenagers. Then.
You never know. They
I will
might
never
earn some-
bag you again.
They could be earning millions in like
I'll
a
be like, hey, you going to
esports league.
Fortnite, mate? Are you getting up in any levels or what? And they'll think, Ree, you're very interested. Last week you were telling me you weren't
Yeah, telling me.
interested. And I'll be keeping them friendly. Hello.
Obviously, they'd need to be incredibly good at it, but if it's hit
You
a
never
point
know.
where it's like they can make as much money as a lot of other people that work like that are professionals in sports.
Exactly.
So that's pretty amazing the day and age we live in.
Keep at it, kids.
I wish I'd known that as a kid because I would have poured
Oh.
so much more time into it.
We would be living in the mansion and
Possibly.
pottering around the garden and doing laps in the pool before brunch.
Or I would just be really fat.
Okay.
Because of all the sitting in front of screens. Not that
No, you'd have your own gym and personal trainer because you'd have it.
Oh, why?
You
I wouldn't have
know.
time to do that. I'd be playing games.
No, you would. It'd be part of your compulsory thing for gaming.
It probably should be
Somehow.
compulsory, actually.
30 minutes of exercise a day is a recommended dose, okay?
Thanks, Ness.
No worries.
Appreciate it.
And fish oil is very good for your brain.
Oh, good to
And
know.
omega-3s. They're just in your fishes.
Yeah, so you could just eat fish.
If you don't like fish, well,
Too bad.
too bad.
I think this is a good enough place to leave it. How about we go play some Overcooked?
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Share the love. Follow us on Twitter at Brendo Jem. That's BRENDOJEM.
Well, I would have preferred to know that was actually happening ahead of time.
No, it's more fun this way. Interesting to note, though, that we have a couple of ferrets that are named after video game characters, like Ezio, who is named after Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed. And then we had Vanille from Final Fantasy. So I'm guessing you've had this trend for many years
Well-
with Sonic the Bird.
Yes, it's true. When we did get our budgerigar, our little blue budgie, everyone's like, all right, what should we name the bird? And of course, it was blue, so
Had to be
young
Sonic.
Brendo said Sonic. And everyone's like, no, we're not calling it Sonic. And then no one else could think of any better names, so the bird became named Sonic. So that was kind of cool. Sonic the Seed Hog, as he was affectionately known. However, we did also have a white dog whose name was Ellie. I suggested the name Ellie because at the time I was playing Halo Combat Evolved, and one of the enemy types is called an Elite. So I thought, here we go.
Shorthand.
Shorthand.
Sneaky. The truth comes out after all this time.
Ellie the Elite Killer. It was a great name. So really, I've been sneaking in pet names with video game references for many years.
There you go.
The official name of one of our cats growing up was F14 Tomcat. He was just called Tom.
The cat.
Yes.
Which really sounds more like Tom and Jerry.
Yes.
But which one's which? Tom's the cat, right?
Tom's the cat.
Yeah, thought so. But I had a moment of doubt. I'm like, oh no, what if I'm wrong?
Second Tom and Jerry reference this episode.
And for the final chunk of this episode, as promised,
Chunk.
chunk.
Sounds meaty.
It is meaty, actually, and it's full of laughs. We were very sugared up. We'd had a day of shopping, and then, in our sugared up state, we went and we played Overcooked for the very first time. Overcooked 2, which had just come out, brand new, had not played it ever, and so we were going in blind, and we were very hyped up. So, you've been warned.
No judgment for the behaviour and excitement and energy levels. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. Overcooked 2, baby! Excited.
Oh,
Excited.
Chocolate. Oh, my God.
Yes! I'm so excited. Ooh, slightly updated music. The following is based on actual events, only names, places, and vegetables were what?
I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Great start, isn't it?
Just after tea time. Ooh, this looks like a graveyard.
Oh, yeah, great.
Scary game. At last.
Oh, looks like Dad.
How long I've waited for this moment. What do you mean it's dangerous? Don't be silly.
This is very bad acting.
Ah.
I just love a good bread. I don't like this graveyard.
And then allow to rise. It's alive. Ew, soggy bread.
Oh, my
Oh, it's
goodness.
moldy.
I'm never eating bread again.
The unbread.
Oh, my goodness. That is a dad joke.
I love it so much.
Listen, I'm not cooking in the graveyard.
I think we are.
I don't think so.
I think we are.
I'll end up in the graveyard. I'll have a heart attack.
See if you can fend them off. What? We have to cook while fighting off zombie bread, the unbread.
They seem so hungry. Oh, you told me this is going to be a happy song.
I have no idea which one of us is which. Okay, I think
red.
I'm the panda.
So what do I have to do?
Alright, here's the lettuce for you. So take that and chop it up. Perfect, and a lettuce please after that one.
I'm glad you used 2 minutes.
Well,
not a Gordon
I'm not
Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, no.
You Gordon Ramsay. Ramsay me. I can't.
I'm much more of a Jamie Oliver girl.
He's annoying too, though.
Oh, well, sorry. Alright, keep chopping,
Oh, I
chop,
was
chop. Chop, chop. We gotta feed the unbread. Alright, I need 2 lettuces.
Oh, there's a lot of kneading here.
Yes. Because of the bread.
I was waiting for that. Well, they're just going to have to wait. They're dead. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, we're making, like, stuff to go in the sandwiches. I get it. For the love of onions, Ree.
I don't like this game. It's picking on me already.
Oh,
I could just
we
cry.
can leave.
I'm off. See you later.
Alright, here we go. Are you ready?
Ready as I
Oh,
would
are we
be.
gonna make sushi? Oh my
I
gosh.
hope not.
Alright, so we're making sashimi. So we cut
Well-
up the prawn and serve it, and cut up the, I think that's tuna.
Ah! Stop pushing me out the way. I know I'm slow. Kevin. Who the heck names their dog Kevin?
Boring people?
Obviously.
Onions? Onions with mustaches. Oh, we're on a bridge in Japan. That's so cool. Doing so much worse this time. It's all good.
It's hard.
For a novice, you're doing bloody well.
Oh, excellent.
That's my bloody for the day.
If I get too bloody, it's a bit messy. We all know you can't handle the gore. Oh my goodness.
They ease you in with those easy levels, and then bam.
Oh my goodness.
Pasta. Okay, so it looks like we're making. That looks like macaroni noodles. Add pasta, chopped tomato, meat, mushroom, or fish, or prawns. Ew.
Not atypical, is it?
No. You look how we're in hot air balloons cooking pasta.
It's very annoying.
Where are we sending this food once it goes down the thingy? Oh, and we are on fire.
Oh my goodness. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Oh, we got a trophy for it.
For setting something on fire.
Yep.
Oh, you monkey.
Whoa.
Whoa! Okay, I'd be pooping my pants. I would not be chopping. I'd be pooping instead.
We are falling at a very bad speed. We are plummeting to our deaths. We're gonna die! We're gonna
I wanted to
die!
get so aggressive, but
Oh my
oh
goodness.
my goodness, it looks like Wizard of the World's gone wrong.
And we're still cooking! We literally crashed. We crashed, and yet we're still cooking. We landed on someone else's kitchen. What the heck is with this level?
Move.
You move.
You move.
Go round. Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
We're
How am
gonna
I
have
going
to
to do
throw
this?
things. You ready?
Okay, cool. I threw it in the ocean. I'm sorry. Can I have another bit?
This is gonna be fun. You cat.
The fish are having a lovely feed today.
Yeah, 3 stars, boo boo.
Oh, she
Sorry.
broke my arm.
Sorry. Oh, that's your button pushing arm too. How are you gonna chop now?
Rainbows and lollipops.
Oh, we have wings.
and we have wings to overcook with.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I get when we're together.
Yep, something like that.
Burritos! Tortilla, cooked rice, and then fried chicken, meat, or mushroom. Cool.
I just fell off the edge. I was going to say, I hope I come back. If you push me one more time, I'm going to go Gordon Ramsay on you.
You okay?
I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
But Al suggests
Oh, look,
otherwise.
it's fine. I'm just overcooked.
Well, I thought my little stories before was embarrassing. You've just
I've just embarrassed
outdone
myself.
me. No one's going to remember anything about my childhood after that.
No.
Now, you can also see my first time playing Overcooked 2, which was later that night. I got the leftovers, let's put it that way. That's available on our YouTube channel because we did live stream that one.
Yep, so you can go back and watch that.
It's all archived there. What are your thoughts on Overcooked 2? Because we have really enjoyed Overcooked 1. Have you
I
found
like it.
improvements?
So what I found is that it's easy, obviously, when you're preparing dishes, you can actually put things down on more surfaces than you used to be able to. And little details like that have made it much more smoother, I think, getting things ready. And so there's obviously the new emote wheel. So instead of what used to be the curse button,
Little,
the Gordon Ramsay button.
Asterisks and @ symbols would come out of your character and they'd be like...
Now it's got lots of positive ones as well, different things that you can do. But I don't know if you'd ever really have time to even try to do those while you're doing everything else during the game.
They're primarily used if you're playing online with someone without voice chat to communicate
That's true.
that
There
I
are
need this
buttons
order
that
up.
say, can you do this, can you do this?
Preparing
that's
ingredients,
new.
things like that.
So they've made it more online player friendly.
Most important upgrade, you can throw food.
Raw food. It can't be, if it's cooked, you can't throw it. You can't throw plates or dishes. Or
It's unhygienic to throw cooked food, but if it's raw, it's yet to be cooked. So it doesn't matter if it hits the ground.
Yeah, we'll just cook off all the dirt.
It's fine. I personally found it a little more clumsy than the first game. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe I'm just out of form.
You might be out of form.
But the amount of times I was trying to pick up a plate or something and it just would not work. And it made me look like a bad gamer. And I'm not a bad gamer.
Just
I'm
as
a
we're
good
live
gamer.
streaming too.
Yeah.
We actually did all right, I thought, for a first playthrough.
Well, Overcooked does ease you in difficulty-wise.
True.
And when you start getting past, like, the third world, suddenly you're, like, struggling to simply pass the level with a single star, let alone getting that high score.
Yeah, we haven't hit those levels yet. We've got to get to them. We might live stream again, perhaps, if anyone actually wants to watch it. When we start getting to the more difficult levels, we've only done the first 2 sections at this point. And some Kevin worlds. That's new.
Oh, yeah, you unlock secret levels if you perform well,
Yes.
I believe. I assume.
I assume so.
However, we started that first Kevin world. We had to steam pork buns or something, dumplings. And we had no idea what we were doing.
Yep. That was chaos. I keep getting mad. Anytime there's pedestrians that walk really slowly and they get in my way, I get so annoyed at them.
And she's not just talking about Overcooked when it comes to that either. You've seen her drive. It carries over into that too.
Yeah, well, if there's pedestrians walking slowly in front of my car, that would irritate me because they don't belong on the road.
Sounds like our holiday in South Africa. You know what time it is?
Gaming goals?
Gaming goals.
Yeah.
In your voice too. That was spectacular.
I'll use that one instead.
Who's going first?
I think you can.
Okay. Well, this week, I actually have a few days off in a row. Consecutive days off, which means guilt-free gaming.
Woohoo!
My favourite type of gaming, when you don't have to feel like other obligations should have the priority. So I'm going to go head first into Yakuza 5, try to at least get over that halfway point of the game. We'll see how I go on that. Do have some more projects that are in the far future. We still have a little challenge to get through as far as our good friend / sister Natalie said. We all had to play Detroit Become Human.
Yes.
Now, what happened when we got Heavy Rain the first time is that I loved watching people play through that. So I played through it, then I played through it with my sister and watched her play through it. And then I watched my wife play through it. Then I watched my best friend play through it. Then I watched another best friend play through it. Then I watched Natalie play through it. So I got to see how everyone did the different experiences. Now, Natalie wants to take the driver's seat on that and watch what everyone else does in the game that she bought.
It's going to be tricky trying to squeeze that in before we go to Japan.
Well,
especially since we're both going to have to take turns playing through it.
Well, you'll be going first because
Oh, really?
she's ensured me that I will be last on the list because I'm usually first on those sort of lists.
I did hear that she wants to just make you nervous about every single choice that you're making to get back at you for Heavy Rain.
Have you seen me make my choices in games? I stand by whatever the most direct path is to the result.
But those kind of games,
Sacrifices of human lives is acceptable if you are doing it for the greater good.
those kind of games, though, make sure that the choices are never clear. That's the whole point.
Don't make me nervous. Anyway, that's not going to happen in the next 7 days, so we don't have to worry about that for the time being. Just something to keep on the radar. Maybe I'll live stream the entire thing. Sounds like fun. I will also be playing Fire Emblem Awakening on my 3DS. If you've enjoyed that, let me know, because I like to know when other people play the same games I play.
Sounds good. I will continue playing Persona Q and Persona 5. That's my life right now.
And Persona 3 and Persona 4.
I tell you what, there's sometimes I hear music from those games and I want to go back and play them too. I'm so susceptible to suggestion. It's insane. I'm like, yes, I need to play this.
And I will be honest, even though I do have many Yakuza games to get through, I'm itching to start Dark Souls 2 because I've never played that. And more likely than not, by the time we kick into this podcast next time, I may have dabbled.
All right, well, if you are going to play Dark Souls 2, you must do so with the promise that
I will not die when I play it.
I can't guarantee that. That you will play blind, like no guides, not as in you close your eyes. And 2, you got to live stream it all.
All?
Yes.
That's a long game.
Well, you do it in chapters or whatever. Do it in bits and pieces.
That's a big promise.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're going to divert from finishing Yakuza before Japan, then you have to make it up to me another way. So you've got to live stream it. That's the promise. Pinky swear me right now.
Oh, I can't commit to that yet.
Oh, well then you better not touch it this week.
Oh, give me 7 days to think about it.
All right, there you go. Not allowed to touch it this week. Thanks for joining us here on the Gaming Lovers podcast. You can catch up on old episodes of our podcast anywhere that you get your pods, from iTunes to Spotify to Stitcher, Castbox, and many, many others. Download, subscribe, rate us. You can find more details about us at our website, thegaminglovers.com. Until next time, sayonara.
Chowski.
Thanks for listening to the Gaming Lovers podcast. For more episodes or to watch some live stream gaming, visit thegaminglovers.com.